Grab your snacks, hide your showmance, ditch your reliance, and let's dive into the Big Brother drama with Kinda Unhinged. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Big Brother video, and oh boy, this episode was a fun one. So it starts off and everybody's wondering who the heck is the accomplice. So they all start speculating, they all start remembering, hey, who was sitting next to the relic? Who noticed that it was gone first? You know, they're thinking of everything and they're all pointing the fingers in different directions. Then Zay says, hold up. When we first got in here, Riley had to run off to the bathroom and the rest of us at the front of the house, and he ran all through the house. So it had to be him because he had the opportunity. So people are like, yeah, that makes sense. It's got to be Riley. So meanwhile, Riley's talking to another group of house guests and he's pointing the finger at Zay. He's like, it's got to be Zay because when they announced it, he was acting sketch and he had a weird reaction to it. And I said the same thing about Zay. I thought his reaction was a little off. But so people are like, the people that Riley's talking to, they're like, yeah, it's probably got to be Zay. But Lauren, she sees there's 8 guys and there's 9 girls. So the accomplice has to be a woman. She's telling Mickey that. And then we see her telling some other house guests, like, it's got to be a woman. It's got to be a girl. But ultimately, when the votes come in, there were only votes for 2 house guests, and that was Zay and Riley. And the majority of the house picked Riley as the secret accomplice. And he was mad. He was upset. He took his hat off and he's like, I'm staying in this house or something. Like, he was upset. And of course, they told them Riley is not the accomplice. You guys failed. So now you have 17 house guests. Then we get a flashback. And the internet was correct. It was Amy all along. She did have something in her pocket. She's got a little remote. So we get a flashback for Amy. And everybody out there who said it was Amy, I saw so many people on the internet saying it's Amy. She's got something in her pocket. You could see her putting something back in her pocket when they turned the lights back on. You guys were 100% correct. When they all came into the house, everyone's going through the house. She kind of lags behind and she turns on the timer. And then when they go upstairs, she pulled down the lever to unlock the door for Rachel. When the light was off, she used her remote to get rid of the relic box. Yeah, she did all of it and she went undetected and she's in the game officially. Amy, then we play a little bit of catch up, so we see them introducing each other, you know. So Rachel gets this letter that says, because you were the 17th house guest, we don't have any more beds left for you. So you're gonna have to be on slop this week and sleep in the have not room. But as a consolation prize, because you did not get a chance to play in the HOH competition this week, you're gonna be safe. And you get to pick another person who gets safety. Everybody who's a have not this week will have safety. So Rachel looks around, she weighs her options, and she decides to pick one of her fans. And who's one of her fans? Will. So she picks Will to be safe. And now Will is able to pick someone else. And Will chooses Zach. And then Zach chooses Ava. So we have Rachel, Will, Zach, and Ava are all have nots this week and are all safe. Then we get a diary room of Jimmy, and Jimmy, he says he's gunning for Rachel. He said, look, you've had your shot. You already got your bag. It's time for me to get mine. You got to get out of this house. And I said, okay, Jimmy, you're using your brain. Because if Rachel stays in this house, it's a wrap for a lot of y'all. So then we cut to Rachel talking to Zach and Will about, her first time in the house. And Zach is fascinated with Brinchel. And he's like, man, she's telling me that I can win and I can find the love of my life. Like, he's in heaven. He's like, oh man, I can recreate that with somebody in here, you know. So we know he's got a thing for Lauren. So I guess he thinks that they're gonna be Zoran and he's gonna walk away with the money. I don't know, but that's what's going on. So then Zach gets called to the diary room and he gets a letter. And then in his letter, it says, "You were promised that when you saved Julie and you won that competition, that that would come with game changing power." Well, the $10,000 that we promised you, you can use that to buy your safety. If you find yourself on the block at the end of a veto meeting, you can pull yourself off the block by giving the $10,000 to the HOH and they have to take you off. And he can do that anytime pre-jury. I said, wow. Now that's a heck of a power and I love it. And it makes me wonder what kind of power is in store for Jimmy, cuz he there's got to be something else for him, I would think. But I guess we'll find out. Then we start to see some alliances being made. So we see Jimmy, Mickey, and Morgan make the Triple Threat Alliance. And I think this is a good alliance. I do. I think that's a good alliance, those three. And I don't think that people would suspect those three to be working together. So I think that's a good alliance. Then we see Amy and Rachel. They're forming some type of mom squad alliance. And to be quite honest, I'm not too sure about that alliance, but hey, they're together. And then oh boy, the scandal of the night. The scandal of the night. Shower gate. Shower gate. Ashley, girl, girl. They can't stand you, honey. Like you the scandal of the night. So everybody goes up to see Vince's HOH room. They find the secret bathroom that we all saw. Vince is like, "Hey, anytime you guys want to take a shower up here, I'm cool with it. It's cool." So I guess Ashley took that invitation to heart and she decides, "I'm going to take a shower before even Vince takes a shower." And mind you, this had been a long day. Vince was tired. He just wanted to take a shower and go to bed. But he's like, "All right, fine. You can go ahead and take your shower." But Ashley's in there for over an hour. And Vince is like, he's starting to get a little annoyed because he's tired. He wants to go to sleep. He wants to take a shower. And the other people are downstairs, like the people that share a room with Ashley, they're like, "Where the heck is Ashley? She's still in the shower. She's still in the shower." And they start talking. They're like, "An hour she's been in the shower? Like, that's so rude." Vince is tired. He wants to take a shower. So people are getting annoyed because you're acting like a princess. And yes, it's very rude and it's very annoying. I feel like Showergate kind of got blown out of proportion, but yes, it was very rude. And if I was Vince, I would have been annoyed. I would have been very annoyed that she took all day in the shower. But anyway, when she comes back down to the room, she's so oblivious. She's like, it's like, read the room, Ashley. Oblivious. She comes downstairs. She's like, "Oh, I just had the greatest shower." And everybody's like, "Yeah, I guess you did. You were up there for God knows how long when Vince needed to take a shower." And Catherine's like, she says something to her about it. And Ashley's like, she doesn't, she's like, like, "Why are you being like that? Like, I took a shower." And yes, it's rude. Yes, it's inconsiderate. Yes, she's Ashley's completely dense for not realizing that. But my God, like this thing, I feel like got blown so out of proportion. But it's week one, and you have to find a reason that you don't like somebody and to put them on the block. Yeah, so it just starts spreading around the house. And when it's time for Vince to decide who he's gonna put on the block, everyone's throwing out her name. And Vince, he doesn't want to put her up because he's like, they all made a pact, the four people who played in the HOH. So that was Vince, Ashley, Jimmy, and Adrian. They all said that if they won the HOH that they wouldn't put the other people up. So he made that promise and I believe that he was going to stick by it. But with all the rumors swirling and everything getting back to Ashley, like Zach went and told her like, "Hey, you need to talk to Vince because like I'm afraid you're gonna go up because everybody's mentioning her name, Ashley, 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 Ashley." So Ashley is freaking out and she starts going up to the HOH room, and of course he's talking to people because nobody wants to be on the block and they're all campaigning. Well, he's telling her, "Okay, Ashley, I'll get to you. I'll get to you. I'll get to you." She keeps coming back and being annoying. And at that point, I'm like, "Look, if I was him, you're definitely going on that block because I told you time after time that it's not your turn. Just wait your turn." Like she was just doing a lot. She was doing a lot. Then she comes back another time and she's like, he's talking to Catherine. She comes twice while he's talking to Catherine. And the second time, she's just like, all right, you can have it. And he's irritated because he's like, you're cutting line, you're doing all this stuff, and I told you that you were safe. So that means she doesn't trust me. So he's talking to her, and as he's talking to her, you can already tell that he's irritated and he's already made up her mind that Ashley, your butt's on that block. It's a wrap. And I think that had she kept her cool, I don't think that he would have put her up. But he put her up because she got on his nerves and he felt like, man, why are you this paranoid? If I gave you my word, I was gonna put you on the block. Then we see him talking to Amy because she has a connection to Ashley. And Amy feels like this showergate thing is ridiculous, which it is ridiculous. But she goes in there and talks to Vince and she starts crying out of nowhere.
Why? Why are you crying? What are you crying about?
Vince is like, I didn't even know that these two were even close. But if she's in here crying over Ashley, if I put Ashley on that block, she's going to be mad at me. So I might as well put them both up because she's going to be mad at me regardless. So that's what he does. So Amy lands herself on that block. Obviously, we end the night with the nomination ceremony. So he nominates Zay, Amy, and Ashley. And he tells Zay that he just doesn't talk that much game with him. He feels like he's a wild card. He doesn't know where his head is, blah, blah, blah. And then he tells Amy that she's a pawn. And he tells Ashley, you don't trust me, so I'm putting you on this block. So you guys let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more Big Brother content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please hit the like. Thank you so much for watching.
Flurries, you better grab a life vest, Kristen.